Bickley and Marotta.
Bickley and Marotta mornings.
Arizona sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
By now, it's fairly obvious there are people who want Kyler Murray to fail. There are people who want to be right about the trench they've dug and are standing in. There are people who roll their eyes and harumph every single time Murray gets a pass deflected, as if no other quarterback in the NFL gets a throw batted down. Difference is this year, Kyler's clapping back, and on Sunday, the day his game was supposed to disintegrate because of his video game addiction, he produced his best game in years. Now, I've said it before. This is exactly the time that Kyler Murray needs to grow into the superstar he believes he is destined to become, and I do mean needs, because odds makers have just installed rookie Jaden Daniels as a top 5 MVP candidate, along with Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, and Patrick Mahomes, and by the time Christmas arrives, Murray needs to be on that list. If not, there will be no playoff appearance this season in Arizona, because that's how much Murray means to the current roster. Now, obviously, my hope is that Murray breaks through to the final frontier, and when he does, that he is no longer divisive or polarizing or ridiculed. My hope is that his underdog status and size will make him the newest, greatest, most inspiring show in football, and wouldn't that be a welcome change? All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
Yeah, I mean, for me, there's no complacency. Like we've been 7-0, we've been 8-0, like we've been in the playoffs once, but I'm trying to get to that next level. That's what my mindset is. I know we're happy right now. I know we're 4-4 and happy to be 500 and looking at again, the division, all that stuff. That to me, it don't really matter. I'm sticking to the grind, sticking to the process, because that's really what matters. You can get beat any given Sunday in this league, no matter who you're playing. So
that's Kyler Murray Sunday in Miami after quarterbacking the Cardinals to that win over the Dolphins. Your point on batted balls is so accurate, and I would be lying if I said it worked, especially the way that game started on Sunday. Two batted down.
Right to begin.
Or maybe it was the Chargers game. He got two batted down.
Yeah, but it happened again last week.
Happening in Miami.
Happened again last week.
You know who? What quarterbacks had the most balls batted down this year?
Who's that?
Aaron Rodgers. Gotta rub some cayenne.
Isn't that fantastic?
As I said, that was before the Fountain of Youth.
Yeah, that was before the cayenne pepper.
Now his arm's going to be going like this.
10 of his 284 attempts have been batted down. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray, Bo Nix next on the list.
Okay.
At 7.
So it does happen to Kyler Murray. Newsflash, he's not a tall quarterback. Of course it's going to happen to him.
Get that breaking news sounder?
Yeah. even in that glowing story, where was it? The Ringer, you told me it was, on Kyler Murray? One of these glowing stories that, even a glowing story, referred to him as a pint-sized quarterback. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with pints? I love pints.
Especially when they're filled with beer or ice cream.
Exactly.
Pints are some of my favorite things.
Don't slander the word pint like the word snowflake has been slandered.
Yes.
Snowflake used to be a beautiful thing.
The name Karen is a beautiful name.
That name Karen used to be a beautiful name. Right, exactly.
Isn't it interesting that we're talking about batted balls, and then Kyler Murray goes to the Suns-Lakers game on Monday, and he has to bat down a ball that's headed for his head.
That's
good
funny.
reaction.
That is funny.
Some reported that it hit him in the head. It didn't. He got his hand up.
Yeah.
But I did notice.
Okay.
Kyler, you got to keep your head on a swivel on those courtside seats, man. You can't be on your phone the whole time.
Right. No, it's true. So this is interesting here, too, because we talked about this in the break. Anthony Richardson's 22 years old. He's been benched. Bryce Young, 23 years old. He's been benched. Trey Lance is 24. He's been benched numerous times. Justin Fields is 25. He's been benched. Will Levis is 25. He's been benched. Zach Wilson's 25. He's been benched. Mac Jones, 26, benched. Kenny Pickett, 26, benched. The NFL clearly has a quarterback development issue in terms of setting down a smart plan for each individual based on that individual's needs and growing that quarterback to where you need him to get. And you brought up a really interesting point. Steve Kye might have been at the very beginning of this with the Josh Rosen, right? Yeah. Drafting over Josh Rosen the year after you have Josh Rosen.
It's a fail fast mentality.
And that's what's going to happen, though, when you put these rookie quarterbacks out there, too.
Josh Rosen.
There's a lot of things in the mix here. I think it's a fail-fast mentality that teams have now because quarterback contracts, once you get to that second one, they're enormous. You got to find out quickly whether or not these guys can play. I also think part of it is what you said, somebody suggested to you, the NFL's got a quarterback development issue. I also think most of those names of the guys you just read,
they stink.
Can't play.
And that's the thing.
Right. Well, it's true.
That happens with every generation. That, for every year, if there's like 5 quarterbacks drafted and given a shot, 2 of those are going to fail. 3 of them, that's just the way it is. But I'm sure Mark Schlereth says this to us all the time. You might even say it later this in an hour when he's on with us. But coaches think that they're like smarter than everybody. So instead of trying to mold their offense to what will give the quarterback success, to what they're good at, they just try to fit them in a square peg into a round hole kind of thing. Instead of making things easier and building on their strengths. Like there's a reason Jane Daniels is doing so well in Washington, because they're not asking him to just be a plain, boring pocket passer.
Yeah, but he's also very talented. And to your point, Jared, on what coaches, the culpability that they have in all of this, think about being an NFL coach. You're tasked with, on one side of your job, hey, develop this quarterback. And then the other side of it is your job security and the fact that you got to win games or you're getting fired. It's a terrible place to be in.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you got to play this quarterback right away, and if they stink, you're going to get fired.
And the other, first of all, Jaden Daniels is succeeding because he has poise. And we saw that as a freshman at ASU. That's what we said about him his first year at ASU. Can you believe how not rattled this dude is?
He's also playing in the best offense that's ever been devised.
But then again, every time in every season, every time you get a C.J. Stroud or a Jaden Daniels, you get other owners across the NFL who say, play him now.
C.J. Stroud was the quarterback drafted between Bryce Young and Anthony Richardson, by the way, last year.
Isn't that something?
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Drew Petzing, the offensive coordinator of the Cardinals, spoke to the media yesterday. He talked a lot. There was a lot of questions about Kyler asked. One of them was if Kyler said anything to him about the success of the passing game, it really taking a step up this week against Miami.
Yes and no. I think at the end of the day, the thing that's awesome about Kyler is he wants to win. And he'll do whatever it takes to do that. And obviously he loves the ball in his hand, as do all great players. But no, I don't deal with that too often.
Yeah, and he also talked a lot about Kyler slowing things down, as was suggested by Kurt Warner in a video breakdown, that the drops were too fast. Going through the progressions was too fast. And this was based on the Monday night game against the Chargers, a game where the Cardinals were able to win that game. But I think everybody who watched both of those games in their entirety can agree Kyler Murray looked a lot more comfortable, a lot more intentional, deliberate. And I don't mean those. Point. I don't mean those in a bad way, because again, the ball was coming out very quick, and maybe to the detriment of the passing game prior to Sunday.
And listen, I know that Kyler Murray has got issues. I still, like I said, I think this whole season is a referendum on whether or not he is going to be the Cardinals' impact quarterback for the future. The thing that I respect greatly is how hard he is trying to make this happen. He has been at that facility for the better part of 2 years now, and he is doing everything he's being asked to do, and which is also to contradict his own nature. So the things could be worse. You could have a quarterback who didn't really care, who didn't grind at the level he is to make this work now with this regime. Right here and now. So I'm grateful for that. I really do hope he makes it.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.